Hi everyone, this is Vishuddhi from the Fun with Yarn channel. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to crochet the single crochet stitch. So this is a lovely, easy stitch that you can easily learn. It has beautiful texture and a beautiful pattern to it. So to make this stitch, you'll need yarn of your choice, a crochet hook that fits the yarn, and then a tape measure, ruler if you would like to measure your piece, and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. So I have just my yarn and crochet hook with me right now. So to start off, we're gonna have to put a slip knot on our hook. So to make a slip knot, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your crochet hook, and bring up a loop. Now we're gonna have to make a chain. So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. So that's one. For this, to practice, you can kind of make like as many chains as you want. So the single crochet stitch doesn't have like a certain number of chains that you have to make. For example, for like some stitches, you might need only multiples of 3 or even numbers, odd numbers, or something like that. But for the single crochet stitch, for the basic single crochet stitch, you can have as many as you want. So to show you guys, I'm gonna make a chain of 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whoops, 10, 11, and 12. Oof, and 12. Alright, so now that we have our chain, we can start crocheting the single crochet stitch. So to make the single crochet stitch, we're gonna go into the second chain from the hook, and I'm just gonna zoom in a bit more. So this loop on the hook does not count, so that's we're gonna go 1, and then that's 2. So we're gonna insert the hook into that second chain from the loop. We're gonna bring up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through both loops. So this is the single crochet stitch. It won't look like much right now, but as you keep working the entire row, you'll start to see a row forming. So let's do that again. We go into the next chain, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, and bring it through both loops. So that's 2 stitches, and then into the next chain, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through both loops. So this is the single crochet stitch. I'm just going to keep working the same stitch all the way till the end of the row, so we can rejoin then. So now I have just 2 chains left, so we're going to do the same thing into the last 2 chains of the row. So just bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, and bring it through both loops. You want to make sure when you reach the end, you don't get confused with the tail, because that's a very common mistake. So now I'm going to zoom in a bit more for the last chain. So this is the last chain, so this one. So for the last chain, we're just going to be doing the same thing. So just bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, and then bring it through both loops. So this is one row of single crochet. So it looks like this up close. This is a dark colored yarn, so you might not see the pattern that well, but it looks really pretty, and it has amazing textures. So now we can move on to row 2. So normally for row 2, you just chain 1 and then continue for the single crochet stitch. If you're following like a pattern, it might say to like chain a different number, or not chain at all, or anything, because sometimes designers like to change it up by of like what type of yarn it is and what like crochet hook size. But normally you just chain 1, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we just chain 1 and then we turn. So the turning chain usually never counts as a single crochet, so we're just gonna go into that next chain, then bring up a loop, and then wrap the yarn around the hook, and then bring it through all 2 loops. So that's just one. Now we're gonna be crocheting into each stitch. So now it's not chains, it's gonna be stitch. So I'm gonna zoom in way more. And if you flip your work off to the side, you'll see these V's. So each V is a stitch. So we'll just be working into each V. So just insert the hook into the V, like that. Bring up a loop, like that. Wrap the yarn around the hook, and then bring it through both loops, just like that. So then we're gonna flip, and we're gonna find that V, insert the hook into the V, wrap the yarn around the hook, then bring it through the loop, then wrap the yarn around the hook, then bring it through both loops. Okay, I'm gonna grab more yarn. Okay, so now this is the same thing we're gonna be doing all throughout row 2. So just insert the hook, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through both loops. So I'll meet you at the end of row 2, and I'll teach you guys how to keep continuing. So now I have, I'm about near to the end. So we have just a couple more stitches, so we'll just get going with those. One, and then there's one, and then there's one more in the row. So this might be a little harder and weirder to find. So you're just gonna get both loops on there, and you're gonna squiggle it in, because this one is probably the hardest to insert your hook into. But once you've done that, you just crochet normally, like that. So this, right now we've done 2 rows. Now we're gonna move on. You can just stop right here to practice. So this would be a small swatch of the single crochet stitch, or you can keep doing a couple more rows. So to move on to row 3, we're just gonna chain 1 and then flip our work around. So row 3 is basically the same as row 2. So we're just gonna repeat row 2 until you get the height that you want. But now we're just gonna insert the hook, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through both loops. You can also rewind the video to look at row 2 if you would like. But this is all we're gonna do until you get the desired height that you want. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and once I get my desired height, I'll show you guys how to finish off. Alright, so right now I'm working my 5th row. I'm nearing the end, so we can just finish up the 5th row. You can keep going for as tall as you would like. So that's one thing. Now I'm at that last stitch. Okay, that's not the stitch. Just gonna wiggle it through and find that stitch. Then we're just gonna crochet the end of the row. Now that you've done that, you should have something that looks like this. Maybe in a different color, but the pattern should be somewhat the same. So it should be looking like this. Now we have to finish off. So to finish off, you can put your work down, take your scissors and just cut. You wanna leave a good amount of space. So I've left about this much space. Now we're just gonna wrap the yarn around the hook and then just pull it through entirely. And then you can just tighten. So this is the swatch of the single crochet stitch that we just made. This is just to practice, so right now it just looks like a small rectangle. You could measure this if you want, and you can make like just a square. That would be like a nice look to decoration if you would like. And now we can weave in the ends. Now the normal way you'd weave in the ends is by using a tapestry needle and actually weaving in the ends. But if you don't have a tapestry needle, a quick way to get over that is to just use your crochet hook. You can use the crochet hook you use to crochet, or you can use a hook size smaller. So I'll just use the same crochet hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in from one side. I'm just going to pull up the strand of yarn. I'm going to flip my work over, go in from another side. I'm just going to pull that same strand of yarn through. So this is, you don't want to do this on like fancy projects, or if you're like making a gift to someone, but this is just practice, so this is also a good way to learn to weave in your ends. So I went one way, and for me, I just go back in the other way. It helps a bit for me to make it go in securely without a tapestry needle. So I'll just go back in a few more spaces the other way, and you just, oops, okay, the yarn split. So you're just gonna pull it back through. If your yarn splits, just let go of it and then just redo that part. It's like, here, my yarn's not even cooperating. Okay, like that. Now you're gonna pull it nice and snug, and you can just cut that right off. And then it kind of just disappears. Now for the other side, same thing. You want to start off close by, then you can move farther away. And this is the same color, so I'm kind of just going like in whatever direction I feel like going. If you're using, if you're like switching out colors in between or anything like that, you want to go into the same color that your tail is in. This is called the tail. So you want to go into the same color your tail is in, or else it'll look really weird if you like look at it yourself too. Okay, my yarn split, so we'll just pull it through. You can stop right there, and then you can just give it a nice trim, just like that. So this is the single crochet stitch. Oh, whoops. Okay, it looks like that didn't go in that well. We can fix it easily. Like that. And then now we can trim the end a bit more. Alright, so now we have a small rectangle and a small swatch of the single crochet stitch. So if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and make sure to click that red subscribe button. Thank you for watching!